Many years ago, in the popular streets of Anthony Drive, there lived one small but mighty girl called Audrey. She was just 3 years old, but she behaved like somebody who had already attended university inside her mother's womb. Her father, Mr. Vincent, was a lively electrician who believed every problem in life could be solved with a screwdriver, while her mother sold groceries in front of the house and believed in shouting at lizards for exercise. Together, they raised their daughter with plenty of loves and a little bit of confusion because Audrey was not a normal child at all. From morning till night, she talked. Not small talk, this 3-year-old could hold real conversation that could give a grown man headache. If she wasn't asking questions, she was giving advice nobody asked for. One Saturday morning, while her father was repairing a faulty wall socket, Audrey stood beside him wearing his big safety helmet that kept sliding over her eyes. "Daddy," she said seriously, "if you shock now, who will shock you back to life?" Vincent looked at her and started laughing. Small madam, leave me, Joe. If current shock me, you just shout Jesus and run for help." Audrey frowned like a landlord calculating rent. "Daddy, that is not funny. You should not be touching naked wire anyhow. You are somebody's father." Her mother, who was arranging bread on the counter, laughed until her wrapper almost fell. "Audrey, abeg, allow your father to do his work before your sermon will switch off the lights in this house." That was Audrey. She was small in body but old in mouth. Even her teacher in nursery school, Auntie Joy, once told her parents, "This your daughter is not 3 years old. She is an old woman in disguise. The other children play with dolls, but she plays with conversations." Truly, Audrey's mouth had no break. Every time her mother sent her on an errand, she must ask one question that could scatter your brain. If her mother said, "Audrey, take this change and buy Maggie," she would ask, "If I see a poor person on the way, can I use the Maggie money to help him and tell the soup to manage salt?" One time, her father tried to warn her about touching his electrical tools, but she stood with her tiny hands on her waist and said, "Daddy, I am helping you arrange them. If this wire shock you, who will know where you kept your screwdriver?" "God forbid," Vincent shouted, laughing and pointing at her. "You better stop shocking me in your imagination, oh small prophetess." The neighbors adored her. Whenever Audrey passed, Mama Hassan, who sold akara near the gate, would shout, "Small madam, come and taste whether my akara sweet today, oh." And Audrey would bite one piece and say, "It's sweet, but next time don't forget to smile before frying so that your akara will have joy." Another neighbor, old Mr. Sampson, used to call her Madam President because she walked as if she owned the streets. Every evening, she would wave at him from afar, shouting, "Good evening, sir. Have you eaten vegetables today?" Sometimes she would sit outside with her grandmother, who visited often from the village. Grandma Ifoma would shake her head and say, "This child talks like she has been in this life before. I am sure when she sleeps, angels gather to take notes." Well, it was true, because even her dreams were dramatic. One night, she woke up crying and said, "Mommy, I saw biscuits with hands and legs chasing me. I think I eat too much of it in real life." Her mother couldn't stop laughing. "Now who born this kind comedian, I beg?" Audrey was also very observant. She noticed things adults ignored. If the bulb flickered, she would shout, "Daddy, I think NEPA people are playing tennis with our lights again." If a stranger walked too slowly near their compound, she would whisper, "Mommy, maybe he is rehearsing how to break into our house." Her father used to tell people, "You see that my daughter, her eyes and ears are working overtime." And he wasn't over-exaggerating, because Audrey could sense when something wasn't right. Once, when her mother forgot her pot of rice on the fire, Audrey dragged her from the pot shouting, "Mommy, your rice is calling you from the kitchen, oh." Even the day her uncle came to visit and lied that he came directly from home, she looked straight at him and said, "Uncle, I can smell you are lying." On Sundays, she went to church in her white shoes and pink hair ribbons, always sitting beside her father in the front row. But instead of listening quietly, she would raise her hand mid-sermon and ask the pastor, "Excuse me, sir, when you said Jesus fed 5,000 people, who counted them?" The whole church burst into laughter. The pastor smiled and said, "This child, you want to turn my message into mathematics class?" After service, people would pat her head and say, "Vincent, this your daughter will be something great." Vincent would smile proudly, even though deep down he was worried. "God, please, let it not be trouble she will be great at." Every evening, Audrey's favorite spot was under the mango tree near the compound gate. She would sit there with her toy broom, sweeping imaginary dirt and talking to lizards as if they were her classmates. One day, her father saw her gesturing with her hands and asked, "Who are you talking to again?" Audrey said with full confidence, "Daddy, I am telling this lizard to stop nodding at me without greeting. It is rude." Vincent laughed so hard that he nearly dropped his phone. "Chai, you see your life? Even lizard will not rest in this compound." That night, after Audrey finally slept, her parents sat outside talking about her. Her mother said, "This our daughter, she's too sharp for her age." Oh. Vincent smiled and said, "Sharp, yes, but she's also kind. Did you see how she gave her biscuits to that small boy today?" Mama Audrey nodded. She will be great one day." And Vincent laughed. She better be great quickly before her questions drive me to early retirement." However, what they didn't know was that her greatness was already closer than they expected. It was just looking for an opportunity to be evident. And that opportunity came on one Saturday that started like any other day in Anthony Drive. Someone was frying plantain. Children were running around half-dressed, and Mama Chisom was shouting at her son for bathing slowly like a snail. The compound was alive as usual, except for Audrey, who sat quietly on the veranda with her favorite plastic cup, stirring imaginary tea and singing her own remix of Baby Shark. Her father, Vincent, was fixing the small generator that refused to cooperate since Monday. Every 2 minutes, the thing would cough and go silent. He would slap it like it owed him money, and Audrey would giggle. "Daddy, maybe the generator is tired. You too, rest small." Vincent sighed and wiped sweat from his forehead. "Rest? If I rest, who will pay school fees for your big mouth?" "Mommy can pay my school fees now," Audrey replied quickly. "She's the boss of the shop. You are just the electrician." Vincent turned to her sharply. "You are talking as if my village people sent you to me." Mama Audrey, who was frying akara beside her table of provisions, burst into laughter. "Leave her, Joe. You know this girl's mouth doesn't have break. Just be glad she's not charging you for her wisdom." Everything was going peacefully. Kids were playing 10-10 near the drainage. The neighbor's radio was shouting Sonny Ade's old song, and one Okada man was outside trying to convince a woman that 400 naira to the junction was a government prize. However, Audrey wasn't focused on any of that. She kept glancing towards the end of the compound where their quiet neighbor Uncle Gambo lived alone. Uncle Gambo was the type of man people didn't understand well. He didn't talk much, he didn't greet too much, and he always locked his door as if he was hiding treasure inside. Children in the compound used to say he looked like the kind of man who would chase you and flog you if your ball entered his veranda. Even adults found him strange, but they said it is not our business. Everybody has a problem. But Audrey noticed everything. Every evening when she played near the gutter, she would see Gambo pour something that smelled like kerosene into small bottles. Sometimes he would open his kitchen door and stand there staring into space like someone arguing with his shadow. She once asked her mother about it, and her mother said, "Don't go near that man's house, so he doesn't talk to anybody. He might be one of those people who don't like children." "Then he will like me now," Audrey said confidently. "Everybody likes me." "Not everybody, my dear," her mother replied. "Some people are allergic to noise." That Saturday evening, as the sun was going down and most people were preparing for choir practice, Audrey was sitting outside waiting for her mother to finish frying akara. The air was quiet, too quiet. Then she heard a strange hissing sound like snake and the faint smell of something burning. She wrinkled her tiny nose. "Mommy, I smell something funny," she said. Her mother, who was busy packing akara for a customer, waved her hand. "It's probably the gutter smell. You know the streets and its aroma." But Audrey didn't think so. The smell was sharper now. It was not gutter and definitely not akara, but something that made her chest tickle. She stood up, tiptoed towards the corner and sniffed again like a detective. That was when she realized it was coming from Uncle Gambo's kitchen window. The hissing was louder now and thin smoke was curling out of the small gap near his roof. Audrey ran back and screamed, "Mommy, Uncle Gambo's house is cooking smoke." Her mother frowned. "Cooking what?" "Smoke," Audrey shouted, jumping up and down. "Come and see, the house is frying puff puff." Her mother dropped the spoon immediately and shouted to her husband, "Vincent, come and hear what your daughter is saying." Oh, Vincent looked up from his stubborn generator. "What is it again?" Audrey grabbed his hand and dragged him towards the back gate. "Daddy, hurry, the house is hot." By the time they got to Gambo's flat, the smell was strong. Vincent placed his hand on the wall. It was hot. Smoke was indeed coming out from the kitchen window. "Jesus," he exclaimed, "this man go burn the whole street." Oh, Audrey's mother shouted, "Vincent, bang the door now, maybe he fainted inside." They banged and shouted, "Uncle Gambo, open the door, there is fire." Oh, but no response came. Vincent quickly climbed over the low burglary and ran into the kitchen, only to find a pot of burning soup sitting dangerously close to a leaking gas cylinder. Just one wrong spark and the whole building would have exploded. "Water!" he yelled. Before Mama Audrey or anyone could move, little Audrey ran to the tap, grabbed her mother's pink bucket, which was her favorite. She filled it halfway, added detergent and dragged it to the back door. Her small arms were shaking, but she pushed it through to her father, shouting, "Daddy, pour this one first." Vincent quickly threw the water, enough to weaken the fire. Then he turned off the gas valve. Neighbors had started gathering now, shouting instructions nobody was listening to. Mama Audrey was breathing fast, holding Audrey tight. "Chineke, this girl's eyes are sharper than CCTV." When Vincent came out, his shirt was soaked with sweat. He hugged his daughter and said breathlessly, "You saved the streets, my baby. If you didn't see that smoke, by now we'll be frying to heaven." Audrey was confused. She blinked and said, "Daddy, will there be akara in heaven?" Everyone burst into laughter, even in that tense moment. Later that night, the street was filled with talk. Neighbors couldn't stop praising the little girl. "Now that small pikin wey dey always talk wey save us today," oh, one woman said. Another person added, "Some children talk nonsense, but her own talk gets Holy Spirit inside." Even Uncle Gambo, who had returned from work to meet the half-burnt kitchen, couldn't stop thanking them. He was embarrassed but grateful. "I don't even know how to thank this child. If not for her, I'll be gone." Audrey just smiled, eating akara from her mother's tray. "Next time, don't leave fire alone. Fire is stubborn like daddy's generator." Everyone laughed again. Mama Audrey looked at her daughter and said, "I told you she's different. See how God used her small eyes to save big people." When Grandma Ifeoma called them over the phone later that evening, she was amazed when she heard of Audrey's brave acts. She bragged proudly, "I have been saying it now. This girl did not come from an ordinary hospital. She came straight from heaven." Vincent shook his head and said, "Heaven better prepare for drama then, because when she goes back, she will ask them plenty questions." By the next morning, everybody in Anthony Drive had heard the story. The news spread faster than akara smell on a normal day. That Vincent pikin saved the whole street. Oh, before 8 a.m., curious people began trooping into their compound pretending to greet, but actually they were coming to see the famous 3-year-old firefighter. Mama Chisom, the woman that never missed any gossip, arrived arrived first with her wrapper tied like emergency. Mama Audrey, I just said let me greet you this early morning, oh, she began. I hear say small madam nearly turned to firefighter yesterday night. Mama Audrey laughed shyly. My sister, now God oh, if not for this girl, by now we for day inside ashes. Audrey, who was sitting on the veranda eating cornflakes, raised her head and said, I don't fight fire, ma. I just helped daddy because he was shouting too much and he didn't know what to do. The whole place burst into laughter. Then Mr. Okafor, the landlord, came walking slowly with his stick. He called out, Audrey, come here, my hero. Audrey ran up to him, standing at attention like a soldier. He patted her head and said, you have saved my house, my rent, and my blood pressure. Tell me, who taught you to be so brave? Audrey smiled proudly. My mommy taught me to be fast, and my daddy taught me to shout when something is wrong. Vincent laughed from the corner. So, shouting is now part of your certificate, Abi? That whole Sunday was like a festival. Neighbors brought zobo and granuts. Children followed Audrey around, calling her super baby, and even the Okada riders by the junction stopped her to say, small madam, if you see any fire again, call us so we go help. The funniest part was when her teacher from Happy Kids Nursery School, Auntie Joy, came by. She said, Audrey, so this is what you've been training for instead of sleeping during nap time? Audrey looked up innocently. Auntie, I told you I don't like sleeping. What if fire comes when I am sleeping? The whole compound roared with laughter again. Vincent whispered to his wife, I think we should start charging people gate fee to hear this girl talk. Oh. By evening, someone had even posted the story on Facebook with the caption, 3-year-old girl saves entire streets from explosion. It had over 400 likes in 2 hours. Mama Audrey's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Her friends were calling and saying things like, hey, woman of the year, you gave birth to fire extinguisher. Even one radio station called Vincent, asking if they could interview them the next day. Vincent, who was half shy and half proud, said, Radio Care, let's first ask Audrey if she's ready for celebrity life. And when he told Audrey, she said very seriously, I don't like microphone. It's always shouting. I will just write my story on paper. Her mother laughed so hard that she had to hold her chest. You write story? You don't even know how to write your name properly. Audrey frowned. Then you write it for me now. Later that night, after all the excitement, the family sat in the sitting room. Vincent turned to his daughter. Audrey, do you know you saved lives yesterday? Audrey nodded slowly. Yes, Daddy. Does that mean I can watch an extra cartoon tonight? Her parents burst into laughter. Mama Audrey wiped her eyes and said, you this girl, so after all this your hero talk, it is cartoon that is worrying you. Audrey grinned mischievously. Yes, mommy, even heroes rest. Vincent pointed at her and said, this one will not kill me. She will just talk me straight to heaven. The next day, a small crowd gathered again outside the compound gates. 2 local government officials arrived with a framed certificate, smiling like people who came to share good news. They shook hands with Vincent and said, we heard about your daughter's bravery. The chairman himself said we must come and present this small award. It is not much, but we are proud of her. When Audrey came out wearing her pink slippers and messy hair, everyone clapped. The official bent down and said, well done, little hero. You were very brave. Audrey looked at them and asked, Uncle, is this certificate for me or for my mommy? The officer smiled. It's for you. Audrey nodded seriously. Then write my name well. It is Audrey. My teacher says I am too fine for spelling mistakes. Even the officials couldn't stop laughing at this point. They took pictures with Audrey holding her certificate upside down, smiling proudly, while her father stood beside her like a bodyguard and her mother like a public relations officer. That night, Grandma Ifoma called them again. Vincent, is it true that my granddaughter is now collecting awards? Vincent laughed. Mama, yes, so your grandchild is now a superhero with cape. Grandma replied, I told you she was born for wonders. When she grows up, remember, don't let her marry anyhow man. She must marry somebody with sense. Audrey, who was eavesdropping, shouted from the corner, "Grandma, I don't want to marry you. I want to be a firefighter and a singer." The whole family burst into another round of laughter. From that day, people on the street began greeting her differently. Children called her Captain Audrey. Adults greeted her with respect, and even Mr. Gambo bought her a new school bag as appreciation gift. He told her shyly, "I cannot thank you enough, little one. You saved me." Audrey smiled and said, "Next time, uncle, don't leave fire alone. It is like a naughty child." The man nodded. "You are right. I have learned my lesson." Although Audrey didn't fully understand what all the noise was about, she just knew that everybody was happy, and that was enough for her. That night before sleeping, she told her mother, "Mommy, saving people is good though, but can I still miss school tomorrow? I want to rest from being famous." Mama Audrey laughed. "You will still go to school, small madam, fame or no fame." A few days later, after the excitement had cooled down, peace returned to Anthony Drive, or so everyone thought. People had stopped talking about the fire. The neighbors were back to their normal gossip. The children were playing with sand again, and Mama Audrey had gone back to shouting at Vincent for leaving his tools everywhere like decoration. And then one afternoon, a white pickup truck with the words "Enugu Fire Safety Unit" parked in front of the compound. 3 men stepped out in neat uniforms carrying clipboards. The neighbors started peeping from windows like cats smelling fish. The leader, a tall officer with a wide chest, knocked on the gate and asked, "Good afternoon. Are you the Vincent family?" Vincent came out wiping his oily hands. "Yes, sir. Hope there is no problem." The man smiled. "No problem, sir. We are here to investigate last week's fire incident. Routine follow-up." Mama Audrey's heart skipped a beat. "Ah, you people have come again?" The officer laughed. "Don't worry, madam. We are not here to arrest anybody. We just need to check the cause of the fire and make a report." They went to Mr. Gambo's apartment. He looked nervous, scratching his head as they inspected his kitchen. The fire officers opened the cabinet, sniffed around until finally one of them found a half-filled jerry can behind the fridge. "Sir, what is this doing here?" Gambo stammered. I was keeping it for my generator." The officer raised an eyebrow. "Generator fuel beside a gas cylinder?" Gambo swallowed hard. "I didn't mean any harm. I was just storing it small." They looked at each other knowingly. The report was now clear. The fire started because of leaking petrol fumes that met a naked flame. If Audrey hadn't noticed it when she did, the whole compound might have been gone within minutes. When the officers finished, they came back to the compound and gathered everyone. The leader said seriously, "You people were lucky. 1 more minute and this entire building would have exploded. You should all thank this little girl." He pointed at Audrey, who was sitting on the step eating chin-chin. Everyone clapped again, but he wasn't done. He added, "And as for the man responsible, please be very careful. Never keep petrol or gas near fire. It doesn't just endanger you, it endangers others." Gambo's eyes filled with tears. She stepped forward and said, "I am sorry, everyone. I almost killed all of you because of foolishness. I thought I was saving money, but I nearly spent lives instead." The neighbors forgave him immediately, but some still feigned annoyance. "Now wow, Uncle Gambo, you won't fry us that night, Abi?" someone shouted. Gambo smiled weakly, shaking his head. "No, never again. I am done storing fuel. Even if my generator is hungry, I'll give it water to drink." Everyone laughed. Later that evening, Gambo brought a small nylon bag to Audrey. Inside was a beautiful red pair of shoes. "Thank you, my daughter," he said. "You saved me from my own mistake." Audrey looked at the shoes with wide eyes. "They are red like fire," she said. "Yes," Gambo nodded, "to remind us that even fire can look beautiful if we respect it." Mama Audrey thanked him, and Vincent patted his shoulder. "No hard feelings, neighbor. Just make sure your kitchen doesn't try to kill us again." And from that day, Gambo became a changed man. He started greeting people, helping women carry buckets, and even smiling, something no one had seen him do in years. Some said Audrey's bravery not only stopped a fire, but it also lit a light inside him. By now, Anthony Drive was no longer an ordinary street. It had become a mini tourist attraction. Journalists came from Enugu City TV to film the famous 3-year-old fire hero. The camera crew arrived one Saturday morning and the producer asked Vincent, "Please, can we talk to your daughter?" Vincent laughed nervously. "You can try, but if she asks you too many questions, don't cry." They set up their cameras in front of the shop. Audrey wore her new red shoes and sat on a stool swinging her legs like a celebrity who just finished her movie premiere. The reporter bent down and asked, "Audrey, how did you know there was fire that evening?" Audrey tilted her head. "Because the air was angry." Everyone laughed. "What do you mean the air was angry?" the reporter asked. "It smelled hot," Audrey said confidently, "and Daddy said whenever something feels wrong, I should tell him quickly, so I did. And he would usually shout, so I shouted too." The entire crew cracked up. The reporter nodded. "You are very smart, Audrey. Do you know you are a hero?" Audrey thought for a while and then shook her head. "No, I am just small. Only God is the hero." The producer was so touched that he stopped writing. Even Vincent wiped his eyes, pretending to remove dust. That Sunday, during church service, the pastor called their family to the front. He said, "Sometimes God uses small people to remind us of big things." This child's act was not luck, it was discipline. Parents, train your children well so that when danger comes, they will know what to do. The whole church clapped as Audrey stood shyly holding her father's hands. After service, people surrounded them with hugs and gifts, but Audrey didn't care much about the attention. She whispered to her mother, "Mommy, my legs are tired from greeting." Her mother smiled. "It is not every day people celebrate you, my dear. Just smile small for them." And so Audrey smiled wide, showing all her little teeth. That evening, as the sun went down, Audrey was playing with her doll when her father sat beside her. He watched her for a while, smiling. Then he said, "My baby, you know you didn't just save our house. You reminded us what family means." Audrey looked up with curious eyes. "How?" "Because that night, you didn't wait for someone older. You believed your small voice could make a difference, and it did. That is what courage is." Audrey blinked. "So, I am courageous?" "Yes," her father said proudly. "Very courageous." Audrey thought for a moment and then said, "Then tomorrow, can I switch off the generator myself?" Vincent jumped up. Not that kind of courage, leave generator for me, please." Mama Audrey, who was listening from the kitchen, burst into laughter. "Can you see your hero? She already wants to collect your job." That night, as Audrey lay in bed, her father told her a bedtime story. But this time, it wasn't about princesses or lions. It was about a little girl who saw smoke and chose to act. When he finished, Audrey smiled sleepily and said, "Daddy, that story sounds like me." Vincent nodded, kissing her forehead. "It is you, my love." Hi besties, this story is dedicated to our little bestie, Audrey, whose birthday is today. Dear Mama, please let her watch the story and tell her that Auntie Enke loves her and wishes she becomes a hero. I wish her a very happy birthday filled with lots of love and hugs. Thank you for watching the story, besties. What lesson did you learn from the story? For me, it is that no act of courage is too small. A child raised with love and awareness can become a light to the world. So, train children not just to obey, but to think, because sometimes the smallest hands can stop the biggest fires. Kindly share the story out with your loved ones. Give the story a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye!